are we doing here today?
I'm here to introduce how I came about to building this amazing business. I would have never in a million years have expected to be sitting here introducing it, but I'm excited, nervous, but I think it's time for people to really find out what I've got to offer.
Can you share the personal journey that led you here?
So the personal journey that's led me here, I don't think it's been one thing. I think it's been a series of small, powerful things that have happened. I started coaching young, and over the years I've been coaching, I've been mentoring, I've built businesses, I've grew teams, but every time I reached a new level, something just didn't really feel right. There was misalignment there, and it felt like every new level I got to, something had to give. And I think the massive turning point for me was when I became a mum, and I realised that how can I have it all? And that's where Revolve was built. It's not about your life revolving around your business, it's about your business revolving around your life.
What was the turning point that made you realise the traditional way of building a business wasn't working for you?
I think the turning point for realising that, like, the way that everyone else does consultancy, coaching, mentoring, is that everyone needs to fit into the business's process. It doesn't always align with everyone, their individual values, the way that they want to do business, their preferences, their life. So I think the biggest kind of turning point for me in realising that the traditional way doesn't really work is the fact that nobody else is putting the business owner at the centre of it. That's what I want to do differently.
What core values or beliefs drive what you do?
I think the most important value that drives what we do is putting the person first. I want to introduce person-centred consultancy. I think one of the biggest things is that people go and fit into someone else's business. Revolve is business built around you, what you need with you at the centre. One of the most important things for me as the owner of the business is that Revolve revolves around your life. You're the centre point of which everything else should align in your business, your personal life, your professional life, your family, your goals, your purpose.
How is your approach different from everyone else out there?
The Revolve approach is definitely different from other business coaching and mentoring out there because we don't just teach, we don't just talk at you, we mentor, we consult, we coach with you so that you have alignment, so that it's built around you. Strategy, yes, absolutely, but one-to-one connection so that you are the centre point around which everything in your business aligns. I know what it feels like to lose myself to my business. I know what it feels like to be there but not actually be present. And I want to make sure that any business owner that I work with comes in and they have the autonomy, they have the freedom, but they can still have their personal life, their family life. Everything should be aligned. And I think too many people reach out to mentorships, things like that, and it's just they fit into that business rather than how does this actually fit me? How does this work for me? There's no context, there's no soundboarding, there's not really someone that they can actually like just chat to and be like, okay, how does this fit me? What I definitely don't want is go and watch the video. Strategy, yes, absolutely, but connection that meets you where you're at and you can actually build something that feels right, that removes the guesswork, removes the noise, essentially gives you more alignment and less overwhelm.
What kind of people is Revolve really for, and what are they usually struggling with when they find you?
Revolve is for any business owner who's found themselves being almost like trapped in their business, they're overwhelmed, and more success feels like more time, more stress, less alignment, less how do I do this, how do I make this fit into my life, how does this revolve around me, my vision, my goals. I think one of the biggest things that I want people to realise is this is not just for fitness professionals in the fitness industry. I've consulted in more than just the fitness industry, and I think every business has the same struggles. Lead generation, absolutely massive problem. Systems, absolutely massive problem. Managing a team, like scaling your business, your marketing, your operations, it's the same problem, but every single person has their individual needs, their individual wants, their individual goals, and I think the traditional way doesn't take that into consideration.
You talk a lot about building around the person. What does that actually look like in practice?
I think building a business around the person in practice looks like one-to-one consultancy. Actually one-to-one, speaking to the business owner, looking at what they want, but looking at their personal life first, so that it's actually built around them. What do they value? What do they truly want their life to look like? And how does that look in their business? And reverse engineering it instead of, this is the way you should do it, this is the way business is, this is the way it should be, hustle culture. It doesn't need to be like that. So it looks like speaking directly to the person, looking at what do they need, what do they want, and what does success look like to them, because success is different to every single individual.
What challenges have shaped your vision?
I think the biggest challenge that did shape my vision was when I found out I was going to become a mum. I was self-employed. I thought, okay, how does this work? I didn't really have anyone in the industry I could look at and go, how did they make it work? And it felt like I had to choose one or the other. And I don't want any business owner that I work with to feel like they have to choose. I want them to have choice, absolutely, but not at the expense of their goals, their vision, the life that they want to build, the family they might potentially want to have. So I think the biggest challenge for me in the last 11 years of being self-employed is probably the day I found out I was going to become a mum. And I was like, okay, who's going to show me how to do this whilst being a parent? And being the parent that I wanted to be. I think so many people sacrifice their goals and they maybe don't want to go and start a family because they don't know how they can do that whilst having a business, and essentially they don't know how to build a business around their life.
What do you hope people feel when they finally experience their business fitting them?
I hope people feel like they can go on holiday, they can make memories, and I hope they feel like they're not there but not there. I know that feeling of like sitting with Blaine, but I'm on my phone and I'm replying to somebody and I'm present, but I'm not actually present. I'm like mentally somewhere else. And I hope that someone sits in their business and goes, God, this feels right. I don't actually doubt if this is right anymore. I don't doubt if, is this the right path I'm on? Is this right for me? Would I be better being employed again? Because I know I've experienced those thoughts and I know that other people experience them, and I know that's part of business. I know it's part of unlocking a level you've never unlocked before. But I hope someone can truly sit with their family and go, I'm here, I'm present. They can still be having the business like running in the background without needing to always be there right at the kind of like times where they should be somewhere else, where they're sitting with their family but they're not actually present, where, yeah, I suppose I just want somebody to actually sit and go, oh, God, this feels right.
Looking ahead, what impact do you hope to make?
I think the biggest impact I want to make is that someone can actually sit in their business and go, God, this feels right, because it took me a long time to establish that, but I had to have sacrifices in order to do it, and I want to help any other business owner that works with us to realise that you don't need to sacrifice you don't need to sacrifice your personal life, and that you can have it all. You can have the professional life, you can have the personal life, and they two should come together to actually complement each other. So if you're a business owner who doesn't truly feel aligned with your business, It's time to build a business that revolves around you. Drop me a message with the details below and let's have a chat about how we can help.